Let me talk about 3 things that might be concerning for people. So first of all, let me explain the concept of reincarnation. So I'm sorry to say, it's not a belief thing. Feel free to say you don't believe. It's fine. I am all about respecting people's beliefs, people's opinions about things. It's fine. My opinion and what I have learned this far is, remember we talked of the soul being a spark of the divine. So the divine is God or source or whatever you want to call him. Let's call them, him, her, she, divine. So spark of the divine is eternal. So from this big light, the big fire, there's like a spark. That spark comes from source. So the spark is as much fire as the fire itself. So this spark of fire, spark of the divine, chooses to go through the journey of life. The journey of life comprising of going through the material world, going through universes. There are innumerable universes. So this spark is going into and out of universes, innumerable as they are. So that is the soul journey. And as it is going through those universes, it is taking with it lessons. It is taking lessons, knowing more of itself. So imagine if the spark went and forgot itself. This is a very simplistic explanation. So went and forgot itself, and it's like, I wonder who I am. And then now it goes through all these journeys, collecting information to realize who it is. So eventually one time it's going to be like, I'm the soul. I'm the spark of fire. I am actually the divine, not in potency, but in essence. Good. Then further up the ladder or further down the spectrum, it will be like, I belong here. This is my person, my soulmate, the fire. I belong to the fire. And then that will be the final reunion. But because the reunion is yet to happen, the soul is in the journey, which is why we are having this discussion. So the journey of the soul as it goes through, for example, if it comes to chooses to come to Earth, which is just one of the very, 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 very tiny places that it can choose to go to. They come to planet. The soul comes to this planet, the third dimension. The third dimension is very important for souls because it is one of the, few, if not the only dimension, asterisk, I'll have to confirm. It's one of the dimensions where the law of attraction doesn't apply. And what I mean is this. Doesn't apply to mean negative and positive can coexist in the same plane. In other planets or in other dimensions, you'll find that positive just stays with itself and negative just stays with itself. So you'll find there's gravitation towards just the yin, gravitation towards the yang. But here, the yin and yang coexist. So that means it gives the soul a very good playing field to evolve because it's able to go through the yin and the yang at the same time. So now what happens is, when it comes to this dimension, this soul that is eternal comes to this dimension and it only lives 100 years. 100 years in the grand scheme of things is nothing. It's like a second. The way we know a second is just nothing. So it wouldn't be fair to this soul to have only come here and lived a second and then it's out. It can be, if the soul chooses not to come back, that can be a choice that it can make, a valid choice, and it can go to the other innumerable universes, other dimensions, etc. So 100 years in the grand scheme of things is very small. So you find that souls choose to keep coming back. Once they come and enter the body of the baby, we say that, then they leave the body of an old person. That soul doesn't die with the body. The soul can go to a different dimension and then choose and be like, no, I think I need 1 more minute. Then they come back into the body of a baby and follow the cycle. 100, over and over. That is a very simplistic explanation of reincarnation. So that's just it. I don't want to get to the intricacies of karma, though I wanted to touch a bit about karma. What I would say about karma is karma just means action, and the action and reaction are equal and opposite. If you make an action, if you think a thought, it has to manifest. If you say a word, it has to create something, because we are co-creators. We are of divine essence. So the way God is a creator, we also co-create. We don't create, but we co-create. So when you make an action, be it physical, mental, emotional, it has to reverberate. So that's what karma is. The way karma is known to be is just negative karma. Like if you do this to this person, you're going to get it back. That's true. But it also works the other way. If you do something positive, think positive thoughts, you're going to get positive results, consequences. Negative, you get negative consequences. So the culmination of which can be a lifetime. So the other explanation for reincarnation is if you have in these 100 years collected or done certain actions, and then you live before you get the exact consequences of those actions, then you will have to come back because of the law that the action has to be met with the consequence. You see? You have choice, but just know that in the whole material universe, assuming it's a globe of a material universe which has innumerable universes and dimensions, everything, and Earth is just one small bit, you will be going around the universe, but remember you owe some karmic debt that you created an action, but you did not live out the consequence. So that is why reincarnation, a soul can go in and out of this dimension over and over and over again. Then the last thing I wanted to explain was soul contracts. Remember I talked in the previous video or clip about soul clusters. So soul groups, some souls can come together and decide to be incarnating together in soul groups, soul clusters, or soul families. So they just write contracts with each other, for example. Look, these are just terms that are used because that is what our mind grasps. So we can have a contract, let's say me and my mom, that my mom is going to be my mom in this lifetime, and then she's going to, for example, maybe become toxic. My mom is very nice. She's not toxic. But she's going to abandon me. Why? Because I need to have the abandonment wound so that I can now mature into it. I can become resilient. I can build patience. I can build unconditional acceptance. I can build forgiveness for her and for myself. So those are qualities that the soul requires to build. So we will have a contract between me and my mom that when we come here, we are going to execute. That is like the most simple way I can put it. So that is things that are done pre-birth or even before we incarnate. We all have contracts with each other. That is why you just keep finding at any given stage of your life, you meet specific people who are going to affect your life or help you maybe move on, or you find like it's like we had agreed. It looks like a coincidence, but we had just agreed that when I get to 33, I'm going to come to iHub, CEP Studios, and they're going to give me this location to shoot my podcast, because at that point, I'll be coming out with my spiritual teachings. And yes, let's sign this contract. So it feels coincidental that I'll just be passing along Lavington and then just see Jahazi and then come coincidentally find a studio. But it's something that had been in my blueprint from the beginning. We are going to help you spread the message that will give people hope and love at this particular point in time. That is why also there is the concept of divine timing, which means that everything happens at the right time. It can't happen in the wrong time, which is why patience is cultivated, which is why the sun will always rise at a specific time and set at a specific time. Divine timing is what facilitates everything to move as it does. I feel like I have explained that to the best of my ability, as simplistic as I could. If you have any questions, I'm very happy to do more of this. I mean, I'm living my purpose as I do this. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope to see you in the next episode. Have a good one and goodbye.